Welcome back to the Evan Wittenauer YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since you've saw my face, innit? Well, that is for a very special reason, because today it is time, finally time, for the 14th episode of the Not So Forensic Record Society with, as you saw just then, a brand new logo. Woo! We're moving up in the world, people. Oh yes. And I know that this series has been on hiatus for the second time now, for quite some time, but believe me, we're back with a bang and there's more to come. For those of you that don't know what this series is, me and my co-host of a given episode give each other 9 songs from a variety of albums, genres, artists, all that kind of stuff, and then we put them in a playlist for each other to review. We go away for a week, we make some notes, and then we come back and have a big funny shouting match. Well, it's not quite like that. Often it's full of some quite enlightening conversations, some some witty banter, the odd deep conversation actually we get into, particularly this episode. But it's all in good fun, all in high spirits. It's all a good laugh. So hopefully you should get something out of it. And this episode, for a comeback, I thought was just great. As usual, it's my esteemed co-host MasterSpud joining me again as we dive deep into our depths of musical knowledge. And this one was actually really, really good, because I think with not doing this series for so long, we kind of thought there would be a bit of rust when it came to doing this. Even as we were doing the intro segment, I remember in the back of my head thinking I'm not quite sure how this is going to go, given I've not done it for such a long time. But then when it got to the main bit of the episode, obviously you'll see, it's like we just fell straight back into that groove, I think, which I was really happy with, because it felt like we'd never been away. But that said, it also felt like we'd come at it with some renewed energy, because there were some genuinely quite deep and thoughtful and insightful conversations, well-reasoned conversations, I would think, as well. It's not just song bad, song good, vocals, no drums. It's we genuinely drilled down into some quite cool stuff this episode, I think. And of course there's some really funny bits in there as well from both of us. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but there's definitely some quite humorous bits in there. There's some insightful bits in there. There's just some absolutely plain baffling bits in there. But like I say, it's all in the purpose of entertainment. And believe me, we are planning to do more of these. They might not be a super regular interval, but there will, it won't be 6-month hiatuses anymore. We're definitely planning to do these at least more regularly than we have been doing, which I think is great, because I think after filming this episode, we were both kind of had that, again, renewed sense of energy towards it. And I think both of us are looking forward to the next episode after this. So just keep your ears and eyes out for that. But I'll stop rambling now and let you enjoy the 14th episode of the Not So Forensic Record Society. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the 14th meeting of the Not So Forensic Record Society. Back after fucking millennia in the cryogenic freezing chamber. We're here again.
16 years, baby, and we're still going hard. We're still going hard to this day.
We are indeed. And as you can see, we have a visualization. It's not Count Dooku. It's not Mr. Tumble. It is MasterSpud, the very soul to the left of me. And we are back here once again.
Oh, I could rep Pride, yeah.
We trade some songs. We have a laugh. We disagree probably about quite a few things, but it's all in good fun, as it always is. There's always some surprises coming our way, both our ways, incidentally. So I will let you go first, my friend.
So the first song we've got...
I'm surprised you can fucking see anything out of them glasses. I feel like I should join you in solidarity here. Hang on.
Wearing glasses inside like a fucking retard. Yo!
There we are. That's more like...
This playlist is really... both of our playlists, we recorded the first part of this 2 years ago or something. And all of ours have pretty much gone unchanged. So my first... pick is Invisible Touch by Genesis. I believe when I first picked this, it was because I had first discovered the song, and it's pretty good. So yeah, then I've got another Irish Rovers song, continuing that with a bit more. So the second one that I got introduced to, which is the Jolly Roving Tar. Then we've got a bit of a mix-up, which is Praise by Elevation Worship, and then a bunch of other people. It's a bit of a Christian rock song, but it's pretty good.
I was going to say it sounds like a bit of a gospel thing, but I mean, to be fair, there's some gospel music out there that is fucking sick, so
Well,
I
it's
don't have a
not
problem with
gospel,
that.
so if you expect it to be gospel, you probably won't like it. The next one we've got, I believe this was on the last episode where you said this, that you would never listen to the Minecraft song "Screw the Nether" by the Yogscast. So we're
I'm
putting
gonna,
it
I'm
in.
gonna, I'm gonna cut in a clip of me saying this, well, because I
Yeah.
don't remember ever saying that.
Okay, I watched the episode back and I couldn't find absolutely fuck all about this. So, I mean, unless I cut it out of the original edit, I guess we'll never know. So, sorry, I guess.
The Yogscast are champions. Well, they were champions. Like some of the best like Minecraft songs that are like genuinely good and not just like funny bad good come from
Yeah.
them. And this is the sort of one that's like I feel the most, apart from Diggy Diggy Hole, is the most
Oh
popular
yeah.
parody they ever did. Good Time by Alan Jackson. This was a very
Oh
early sort of country song in my country obsession.
yeah,
Expect more country songs in the future,
yeah. Because
definitely.
I was gonna say because you are like a country fiend at the moment,
But I
getting
got on
into
this
it.
song about like 2 years before, or before that, which is now. So the next one we've got is another Irish Rover song, which is Donovan's Pub in Ballaslow. This was one of the newest, like of all the songs that I kind of listened to from them. This is one of the newest ones I
Mm.
discovered because it's from their newest album. But yeah,
Oh,
this is,
okay.
this is kind of a bit different to the other two. So wait, who the fuck sings this song? All right. So it is a bit of a curveball, which is kind of reflective of some of the curveballs from the last playlist, and it is "Forgive Me, Friend" by Smith and Fell featuring Swedish Jam Factory. But yeah, this is like literally a song that I discovered on holiday while trying to add more songs onto my playlist before a flight and using like Spotify's like bullshit recommended feature, which is shit by the way. Let's just get a little side rant about
I
this. I'll
mean,
get it.
I don't know. I think like this is maybe spoiler for a couple of the upcoming episodes, but I've got a couple from Spotify recommends that are pretty good.
Well, no, but the
So,
one that's like add to this. So when you click add to this playlist, she gets suggested, which is usually just a bunch of bullshit songs that you've probably already heard before. Most of
oh
it
yeah,
isn't
you.
actually new shit, and then you get suggested episodes. Like that's fucking helpful. And then recently played, thanks Obama, you fucking piece of shit. So it was helpful that one time, and I got a bunch of really cool songs from like a lot of people that I've like never heard before, and that was one of them. So the next one is another kind of Genesis adjacent thing because we've got Something Happened on the Way to Heaven by Phil Collins. So
Ooh,
IMO, this is one of the best Phil Collins songs. Yeah, and I just thought because the Phil Collins one that I gave you last time went down so well, I thought, why not?
oh yes, yes, yes. I remember that one. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And the last one is a very crazy, very You're Not Me by Marty Baggs from the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Pyramid of Light movie. No one knows the guy. I'm this is a blatant assumption. No one knows the guy who made this film. No one knows. No wait, shit. All right, I'll start that again. Nobody knows the person who made this song. Nobody knows why they made it. Nobody knows why it was put into Yu-Gi-Oh. I only know that it's awesome and it's funny and it really recently got put on Spotify, so it's as good a time as any.
Literally did nothing else.
Yeah, so this was just one hit, so we got to respect. We got to
Well,
respect that.
I just went for like bangers, like what are like no like long 7 minute fucking ambient piece where I'm like, oh, this is cool. Nah, bangers all the way through, just short, sharp, do the job, get in, get out, and then hopefully that'll do the trick. The first one is Amen Brother by the Winstons, which is for all you music
What?
aficionados out there, is the origin, I think, of
All you
the
fucking
most,
redditors out there.
yes, all you fucking golden karma hoovering people out there. Edit, thanks for the gold stranger. All you guys out there, this is for you. Maybe
Evan is
the
one of those
most
people, by the way.
in these goggles, you might think so, wouldn't you? But it is, I think, the most sampled bit of audio material of all time. Like it's been used in thousands and thousands and thousands of songs, but the actual original song itself is really fucking cool as well. The second one is Pogo by Digitalism. I think it was the last episode I gave you What You Know by Two Door Cinema Club, I think was the song. And kind of how I would describe this one is a song kind of in the same style as that. Pogo, how I would describe it is like Two Door Cinema Club, but with kind of like more of a futuristic kind of electronic edge to it. It's really fucking cool. The third one is Move On Up by Curtis Mayfield, which is just like a classic Motown funk soul kind of jam. Think like the Jackson 5 or Earth, Wind and Fire, or something around that kind of time, that kind of style. It's one of the best songs in that style, as agreed by many people. There is the full version that's like 8.5 minutes, but I gave you the single version that's like 3 minutes because it's a bit more digestible. And also, I think for the type of song it is, I actually might prefer it to be a bit shorter, but I might change my mind on that. I need to go back listen to the full length version again. The fourth one is The Isle by Pink Pantheress, which is Pink Pantheress was she had, I think, my 9th favorite album of 2023, or maybe my 8th. It was in the top 10 somewhere, and it's really, really fucking good, that album. And I often kind of go backwards and forwards when I'm re-listening to it about which song from it is my favorite. This is definitely one of them, though. I initially had like an older Pink Pantheress song in this spot, and I was like, oh no, actually, the newest stuff is really, really good. So I put this one in there. It's really good fun. I really like it. It's kind of I've had someone before describe their music to me as like stereotypically girly, which I guess is kind of true, but like I don't really give a shit. This next song is Where the Wild Are by Southern, which is actually a song that I think I came across from a YouTube advert, literally probably about 13 years ago now. We were doing a school production of Where the Wild Things Are, like the kids' book. And so I Googled it, and then one of the ads that played in front of one of the videos that I was watching about it was an ad for this song. And then my dad was like, oh yeah, my like workmate's best friend dad's cousin knows them or something. And I'm like, oh yeah, oh cool. But then I went and listened to it back again after like 10 years when I was making this, and I was like, actually, this goes fucking hard. Promises by Nero, the next one, that is also a nostalgia blast for me, because when I was in year 6, one of the only things I have ever won was an iPod Nano that I won as the first prize in the end of year 6 assembly raffle. I had it, and I had no idea how iPods worked because I was a plebeian. My dad's mate basically loaded a load of songs into it, and one of them was, I think I've actually told, oh no, I've told this story before, because in the last episode we had song from this dubstep compilation, and this is another one from that compilation, but it's one of my favorites. I thought if that one worked then, which it did, this one would also work. The next one is Golden Scans by Klaxons, which, I'll be honest, this is like one of the Spotify recommendations. I was trying to kind of fill out the last slot, and I was going through all of them, and I'm like, no, 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 this is shit. No, no, no. And then I came across this one. Like, it took about like 50 tries before I got to a song that I thought was actually worthy of going on it. But this one really is. It's like, it reminds me a bit of, I think you gave me a song by Razorlight in one of the last ones. And so this is kind of parallel to that in terms of style. The next one is On My Own by Anna Managuchi and Hannah. Anna Managuchi are fantastic. I think they did the score for the Scott Pilgrim video game. And so I went to go and look on their Spotify, because like the soundtrack for that Scott Pilgrim game is just like 8-bit music. But then a lot of their other music is like that kind of same 8-bit video game music, but combined with like rock music. And it's super wicked. And I thought that this was one of the best songs I've heard from them. So it went straight on here. Like, I didn't even have to think twice.
That one, I'm feeling really confident about. That actually sounds like it's gonna be pretty cool.
The last one is Peppers and Onions by Tierra Whack. Now, because I remember the last time I gave you a Tierra Whack song, you said it was fucking dog shit.
Because it is dog shit.
I sought to remedy that problem by giving you a Tierra Whack song that I actually really like. I think it's fun. I think it's vibrant. I think it's colourful. I think Sierra does a really good job on it. Some of the lyrics are really funny. I still think you were wrong for saying that Body of Water was shit, because I listened back to it again the other day and I was like, nah, this song slaps. I don't care what anybody says. If you didn't like that, hopefully you will like this. So that's my full playlist. I'm very excited to get into yours. Hopefully you're at least somewhat excited to get into mine. It'll be good to get back into the swing of things because we have not done this for so long. I think this is the only time anyone will say it's good to be back on the wagon. That's not really something you want to hear someone say. Oh, wait, no, I guess it is, because if you fall off the wagon. Yeah, wait, shit, fuck.
This
guy.
Wrong
way around.
Only this man fucks up the outro of the video.
Fucked up outro aside, I'm very happy to be getting back into this. It should be great fun. And so we'll give it a week. We'll, listen to the songs, make some notes, and then we'll come back and have a good old chin wag about what it is we've just heard. And maybe, who knows, maybe we'll come away with some new favourites. I mean, probably not, but you never know, right? That's part of the fun. So, hello everybody, and it is that time. It's been a week, and now it's time to do some talking. We are once again here with MasterSpud, fit in the get-up, looking like he's from the Victorian Crip gang over here. Your first one that you gave me was Invisible Touch by Genesis.
Oh, fantastic song.
Good song. I agree.
Yay!
I can't not agree, really. A lot of the things that I say when I preface it with I will say, they're not necessarily bad things. So I will say that it is kind of like fairly typical of like 80s like pop rock, synth pop kind of thing going on. But I like that stuff. So that's not really a negative in any way. It's got kind of a bit of a lounge vibe to it with some of the well, not necessarily in the mood because it's quite like an energetic song, but like a lot of the like keyboards and stuff have a kind of a loungy undertone to them, which I like. I think it works really nicely. A lot of like in the chorus with those huge like brass type hits and the beats and stuff. It's great. I can have a proper old groove to this song. Just like it just gives off a vibe that's like so carefree and bright and fun, and I really enjoy that. And of course, like Phil vocally as he normally is just like unstoppable. It has that kind of like anthemic like love power ballad thing going on, which he does really, really, really well. Like he's got the voice for it. He can hit those high energy points like without any strain whatsoever. And I think as well the bridge with those extra kind of like steel drum like percussive type keys where it kind of goes a bit fast paced and a bit colourful and kooky and weird. I think that's a really cool moment in the song. It kind of came out of nowhere, but I was like, I am digging the hell out of this. So there's basically
the bit at the end.
The only thing I would say is maybe a slight critique is just the lyrical thing. Like, oh, I love this girl. She makes me feel nice. Like, it's not the most revolutionary thing ever, but it doesn't have to be. Like, it's still a great song. So that's like the most minor critique of all time. Everything else about the song I absolutely love. And even the critiques that I do have are like the most minor complaints in the world.
Spud story time. Kids, I did karaoke to this song, and it was really weird because I managed to get through it surely by like being drunk. It was really weird because like normally, like if you played like literally any other song, any other like huge people from around that time, like or like even just huge like solo songs in general, you would expect people to sing, but this was got a dead response. I was the only person singing.
Everyone in that pub or wherever it was, fucking shame on you, man.
Yeah, fuck you.
What's going on with this?
Your first song to me was Amen Brother, and I forgot who it was by. I think I forgot who all of these were by, so you could... so when I was listening to this, apart from the fact that I was falling asleep, but that was due to just doing work while I was listening to this, it was pretty good. It's an instrumental song. I kind of wish it had lyrics, but it was good for what it was. Listening to the whole thing, it was about like 2.5 minutes long, so it didn't overstay its welcome. So because it is a straight instrumental track, and I think I found this over the years, is that you're more willing to just listen to like a straight like long instrumental track and like not care that it sucks or that it's boring.
What?
That doesn't apply to this song though. but it does get a little repetitive. Like, it would be good like background music.
I will ask you one question though. One question. So around 125, there is a drum break. Did you recognize it?
I feel like I do, but I couldn't tell you where from.
So that is maybe the most sampled piece of music in the history of time.
Oh yeah. And is that the reason why you gave me it?
No, I also think it's a bop.
Oh, that would have been a very Evan Whitten thing to do.
So your next one, the Irish Rovers make a comeback with the Johnny
yes.
Also like this.
So my Irish Rovers kind of journey started with, I think, just sea shanties in general. So that eventually got me to look up like sea shanty songs. And they don't do sea shanties.
I will say that a lot of what I've said about the Irish Rovers in the past does apply here, but that's mostly good stuff. There's a really nice persistent beat. It has kind of a cool sort of galloping edge to it in the chorus where, like, you know, the momentum gets going. I think the melodies that come through with the guitars and the accordions and the flutes, they're all really, really nice. I think the vocals throughout the whole thing are very well performed and very uplifting. Not only the guy on his own, but then when the rest of the band joins in, it gives it this really nice kind of sort of homely, sort of, I guess, like cozy quality, but like not in the, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, it's a really nice kind of like a happy vibe that they managed to conjure up with it. The term I'm looking for is endearing.
I think that's the kind of sea shanty vibe that, like, is the reason they got so much mainstream popularity.
The lyrics about just, like, you know, having fun in a pub and drinking and all that kind of shenanigans. It's great. It's just, you know, it's a good little piece of escapism. I would say this is a caveat, and you can take this as a good thing or a bad thing. I don't think I would enjoy it any further other than an isolated level, meaning someone could give me this song to listen to and I would go, okay, yeah, this song, it's good. I like it a lot. But then it's not the kind of thing where I would then go home and do a deep dive on their Spotify.
Well, so basically, this is not the kind of thing you would listen to in your own time. That's okay that that's your opinion, but you are wrong. Lesson of today, kids. People are wrong, and that's okay.
If there's one thing that this channel probably teaches people, it probably is that.
Pass the flowing bowl, boys, there's whiskey in the jar, and we'll drink to all the lassies and the jolly roving tar.
It's just really hard as an outfit to maintain. Right, I think I'm good.
You should just get like a balaclava like I've got. Have I still got it? I probably still do.
All right, so while you're doing that, so my next song was Pogo.
There we are, you see?
So this was another one that was pretty samey, kind of repetitive-y, like the whole way through. It wasn't bad. Like, there just wasn't really like a big moment, and then like it kind of got a bit more exciting. Like, whenever I talk about that, like what we saw with Invisible Touch is the kind of thing that I mean. It's like big bits and then like slow bits, and then like kind of a change the midway through, and then like a fucking massive bit at the end. The backing track was really cool. And the vocals, although like I literally couldn't understand like what the fuck they were talking about, like the voice effect on them sounded really good. It was a nice song to listen to, but like it was just like nothing incredible.
Oh damn, I really thought I had you with this one. I was like, this one, this is the one, boys. This is fucking, yeah, this, I was like, oh no. Third one, praise. There was a lot of people involved. It was elevation worship. Okay, Brandon Lake, Chris Brown, and Chandler Moore. Those are the three people.
Yeah.
Elevation worship.
The problem that I'll say with this song is that like it's so hard for me to like try and find more songs that sound like it, because like I literally can't like. So I don't realize if he said this, but this is kind of like a Christian. Would you say like pop rock?
Yes, yeah,
pop?
I would say that's accurate. I'd say pop rock's accurate.
So yeah, it's really hard to find sort of, you know, more songs from this artist or this singer, because I don't know who the fuck like made, like who is singing it, like who is responsible for this.
It's just a church ministry. I liked this. Again, you're currently 3 for 3 right now. I don't know what the kind of beat is at the foundation of it. I think it's kind of like a reggaeton, slightly maybe African as well in some of the rhythmic features of it, but I really like how they use that. throughout the whole of the track.
Sorry, I'm like genuinely like confused.
The rhythm is kind of like a slightly African rhythm.
What? What is?
Do you not know
mean?
the music of Africa has certain.
There's a continent. You can't say that.
No, right. I don't want to look back at it and then be wrong and then be racist by accident. I don't want to do that. So
okay, just to qualify that statement, I think what I meant was a kind of Afro-Caribbean carnival style beat. So like reggaeton is like boom, da boom, da boom. So that's a bit slower. But if I'm talking like fast paced, like boom, da boom, da boom, da boom, da, I think I am talking about like a kind of Afro-Caribbean carnival style thing, because African rhythms are actually a lot more intricate than that. So I think that's what I was trying to get at there, just to really dot the I's and cross the T's.
I like the beat at the base of the song, and I also think that the way it's recorded, it kind of sounds like it's recorded from a live performance, and I like that because it gives it a lot more life to the instruments. Like the guitars and the brass section sound a lot more kind of lively and free and kind of less boxed in, which I like. And I think the vocals throughout are very, very well performed, very uplifting, and it works really well together in kind of a group format for, again, that like big uplifting kind of soulful chorus section in the back, which is really nice. And like, even though the Christian slant of something in the lyrics isn't something I personally identify with, I think the sound of it is very, very well done for what it is. Like the way they put it across, it's very bright, it's very lively, it's very kind of inspirational and hopeful. So I like that a lot. My only thing is that I guess sometimes these kind of huge, big, motivational kind of sounding tracks like this can sound a little bit kind of cheesy and maybe a little bit overdone, sometimes like a little bit overblown. Like, even if they do sound good, it's sometimes like maybe a bit much.
So the African sounds like a bit too African, and that's why you don't like it.
No, that is not. The bombacity of it is sometimes a bit like, well, okay, slow down a bit, Buster. But it is a very good song, regardless of everything that I've said there.
Counter argument: Evan likes Slipknot, and that's a bad opinion.
How is that the other side of the coin to what I've just said?
It's completely not, but it's just saying that like your opinion is bad.
Oh, right.
So my next one, your next one for me was Move On Up. I enjoyed it. It's a fun and an upbeat song, but like I genuinely just don't have a lot to say about it. Like I like the vocals; they were really nice. The backing track was really nice. Like it came together for a really nice song. Don't have a lot to say about it.
How would you feel about a version that's 8.5 minutes long?
I'd have to listen to it honestly just to see if it was like really repetitive. Long songs are already kind of a red flag. Well, just like the Metallica songs that are like 20 minutes long. Like I've listened to some of them and they're just like not good. It's not like they're not good purely from sheer length. They're not, like, most of them just aren't good. I could listen to like a Meatloaf song like Bat Out of Hell or like Do Anything for Love, like the normal, but I don't know if they get trimmed down to go on for like radio edits, but I can listen to those like completely straight, and most other songs that don't make them as dynamic as that.
Just move on up toward your destination, though you may find from time to time.
My next one is Screw the Nether by the Yogscast. I can't say a great deal about the music itself, right? Because obviously it's basically just moves like Jagger by Maroon 5.
Bro discovers what a parody is.
Well, no, but like I'm saying that like me critiquing the music loads is kind of a moot point. So like, the backing track is fine, right? It does the job, cool. So the appeal then really comes down to the vocals and the lyrics. And I thought it was 3 guys. Was it all sang by one guy?
So there's another YouTuber called In the Littlewood, and I think he joined the Yogscast at some point. So I've never, for all the Minecraft fans out there, for all the Minecrafters, Minecraft Let's Players, I'm gonna say like I never watched the Yogscast. I've never been a Yogscast person, but I believe, from what I understand, like purely from listening to their music videos, that In the Littlewood joined. He has his own separate channel. I think he's always had his own separate channel. He's like, for context, he's like a Fortnite YouTuber now, and it's him who sings the song. The characters are like the different vocals, So the ginger guy, and then I think the other guy, they're two like regular Yogs cast members.
The first guy, who I think is in the Littlewood,
Yes.
the blonde guy with the green t-shirt. I
Yeah.
do think his voice can be a little like nasally sometimes, but his delivery like does give the vibe of someone who's maybe not like a naturally trained singer, but is still having loads of fun. There are some bits of his delivery, I can't really point to exactly which bits, but just some that are like, oh, that note's a bit off, and that's a bit weird. But like for the most part, it's cool, it's fine, it's fun. I enjoy it. And the choruses are definitely better in that regard, honestly. Like they definitely sound like they're having more fun on the chorus than anyone else, which is natural.
The chorus for this song is genuinely iconic. Like I was a Minecraft kid back in the like prime, like before what the fuck ever Minecraft is now, like the Minecraft community. We were kids back then. Like this song is imprinted into my brain.
The second guy with the kind of deeper auto-tune voice, he's probably my least favorite. He doesn't sound bored exactly, but I think it's definitely a lot less infectious than the other two guys.
I could see that, honestly.
In terms of their deliveries, like the first guy sounds like he's having fun. The third guy I'll get onto also sounds like he's having fun, but this guy doesn't really sound like he's having nearly as much fun. So that kind of takes it down in my estimation. The third guy, though, I do think he's probably my favorite. He sounds like he's having a great time. Like, I think a lot of how he sings it is done really well. It is genuinely catchy the way he sings it. Although I would say some of the bits where his vocals get a bit more eccentric are a bit kind of like eyebrow raisy, squiffy moment, kind of like where he's like, "If you got a potion, use it."
The funny thing is like I know what you're talking about, and like I agree with it. Like if you didn't put it like it's an eyebrow raising, but like I get what you mean. But like that lyric is like I think specifically one of the ones where he doesn't do that. This is like a really cringy argument.
Yes, it is.
No,
I just gave an example. I just sang it exactly how he sung it.
No.
I did. I fucking did.
There's like worse examples. That's like not a good example of that.
Yeah, I know there are worse examples, but I'm saying that is one of many examples.
No, I'm not saying that I disagree with you, but that's not on that line.
Yes, it is. It fucking is.
No, play it.
I'm not deaf.
You got a potion, use it.
Need I say more?
I'll go stand in the corner. Guess I don't remember the song as well as I thought I did. Fake Minecraft fan.
In terms of lyrics, right? I get that it's a Minecraft parody, so a lot of the lyrics will obviously be based around references.
It shouldn't have been based on Minecraft. I think it should have been based around my favorite video game, Fortnite.
My test for parody lyrics is, outside of the context of the track, if I saw these, would I laugh?
No, but it's not supposed to be funny.
So what is it supposed to be then?
It's just a Minecraft parody.
Yeah, but what is the point of a parody?
It's just a Minecraft. It's just
funny.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. This is like a weird argument because what you're arguing, like it, I'm not saying that it doesn't make logical sense. The problem is that I gave you this because you've never heard any other Minecraft parodies.
9 times out of 10, this is true. There are the one or couple of exceptions where it's not true. Fallen Kingdom is one of the exceptions, but for the most part, my test for a good parody song is it funny? And outside of the context of what it is, would I find it funny? Like Weird Al Yankovic's Fat. I don't have to know that that's a Michael Jackson parody to read the lyrics and think that it's funny.
That's the thing. Like this is like a parody a bit. This could be like a clip in of itself because I genuinely understand like what you mean. Like this is like a logical argument because that is 9 times out of 10 what the word parody means. But Minecraft parody is like it's just genuinely like a Minecraft version of the song. Would I be right in saying that like the person who's like probably just the most who has done the most popular parodies on YouTube that isn't like a genuine artist like Weird Al Yankovic is Bart Baker?
Yes, I think that would be true. Yeah.
So that's why, like, I'm gonna say at least 90% of Bart Baker's parodies aren't like that. Wouldn't pass the parody test. That wouldn't pass the cringe test. They're generally like directly riffing because I think your test is a pretty decent one. But that's why I think most of his don't hold up. They're not about anything else apart from critiquing usually the music video, like just saying this is stupid. The Drake one is so funny because that's making fun of Drake.
As a Minecraft version of the song, I'll put it that way. As a Minecraft version of the song, it does its job very well. Am I going to be like clawing back to come and listen to it? No. The ending does make me laugh, but that's because I genuinely think it is supposed to be entertaining. That bit does make me laugh. What I will say is that I do, because of the novelty of this, infinitely prefer it to the original. Because I think the original is fine, but just kind of boring. This is like the music backing, which I already thought was fine, and something extra on top of it. So honestly, I would probably rather listen to this than the original Maroon 5 version, just because it's got something else going on.
Give me a few more episodes and you'll be saying that Fallen Kingdom is better than Viva La Vida, which it is, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I don't think I can let you tell me that.
Like, I remember seeing, like I saw, like, the Coldplay, like, Music of the Spheres movie, and when he started to play like that, all the girls were screaming, they were crying, they were creaming themselves, and I was just like, bro, I just want to hear Minecraft.
Is that not like an early form of brain rot?
It's very deep-seated brain rot. This is the thing. This is an interesting thing because I am, like, really biased towards this song because it kind of... Oh, wait, this is the thing. Like, has this song, since hearing it 600 years ago when we started, has that lived in your head rent-free?
No.
At any point?
This is all the prep that I go through. Even if my tools are just make do, moving to the never. I'm moving to the never.
Number 4,
Yes.
The Isle. Oh, okay.
That's not a good start. That is not a good start. I think I need to get
This is probably the one that I've liked the least so far. I didn't hate it, but I probably just wouldn't listen to this, like, in my own time. The lyrics were pretty mid, like, leaning into bad, like the actual lyrics themselves. The vocal style, like how they were actually sung, like that was probably the most notable thing about it for me. And the beat was not good enough to be like, oh, you know, the vocals and the lyrics are kind of trash, but oh, this is a good vibe.
Did you not think so? Because I totally disagree.
Evan is a male hypomanic pixie dream girl, everyone. Oh yeah, it was Pink Pantheress as well. She's not a good vocalist. I'm trying to think of what song I've heard on hers before, and it's Boy's a Liar. That's not a good song either. Well, it's like jumping, it's like but like in the most like superficial like level possible. Like this is, it feels kind of like a club song. You could bop down to it if you like, if you've done like 6 tabs of acid and like you forgot which universe you were in. You like if we compare this to like the instrumental for Invisible Touch, like I get that it's night and day.
It's not the same thing at all.
No, but for me, that it's like good song, bad song.
Well, yeah, I could say that like Kate Bush versus Man Banging on Pots and Pans, good song, bad song.
But this is not objective critique. I'm going to make my opinion for everyone out there who talks about music and thinks that their opinion is objective. You're wrong.
I don't think that my opinion is objective.
I say you did. I said that's your own. That's you. It's been caught out. So yeah, no, I'm changing this song. This is a bad. I was originally like, oh, you know, it's just kind of okay. No, don't like it.
I think you're wrong.
Oh, man, no.
That's actually just like, I don't care that you broke your elbow energy coming from me there. Alan Jackson's Good Times. I did not like this Green Eggs and Ham. I did not like this Sam I Am.
Yeah,
I think you've recommended me much, much better country music than this. This, in comparison to some of the other stuff that I've heard that you've shown to me, it pales in comparison. I just find the whole vibe of it to be really like cheesy and corny. Like, I know it's not exactly like Alabama core or whatever, but like the sound of it is just kind of really it's like cartoon country music almost. Like,
is it because it's like a lot simpler? Because I do understand, like, this is a lot less big than a lot of like, well, just a few others like off the top of my head, like Luke Combs, Brooks and Dunn, other people whose names I'm forgetting. Like, it is a lot smaller song. Like, it's very like the beat is a lot more simple.
The beat seemed very run of the mill, and the guitars and the pianos and the fiddles and like the weird kind of like springy boing sound effects. I don't quite know what makes those. Like, every kind of element of this song just feels so run of the mill and so cartoon and cheesy and kind of, yeah, I literally put in the next line of my notes, it sounds like an unintentional parody of itself.
This is the inherent kind of thing, is because like it might be like, I personally don't agree that it's like a caricature of what country music sounds like, but that's because a lot of what country music sounds like now is a lot bigger. This is a very simple, like back to basics kind of one. I think that's part of the appeal for me.
Yeah, I will say some modern country is fucking dog shit. Like I say, that whole like I went in my truck to Applebee's and I'm shotgun beer.
That was a straw man argument. Like I kind of get what you mean, but that's
just what bro country is. Bro country fucking sucks ass. I just think that like Alan's vocal delivery, just like the kind of uppity cowboy thing, does nothing for me.
I don't think it's really uppity because it's kind of like. I think it's kind of like chill. I'm having a good time.
Well, yeah, it is on that one line, but the bit was like, I'm going to a bar, having a drink, doing a dance, and sister. I just find it kind of like inane.
The fuck does that mean?
It just exists. It exists, and I find his vocal inflections annoying on top of that.
What vocal inflections though? Like that's like, I don't think that's a criticism, but I don't think
I find his accent and his singing voice annoying.
Okay, so do you just like not like country?
No.
Like if you don't like country, like that's fair, but like
I do like sung, right? Like Post Malone, right? The newest Post Malone album, F1 Trillion, I think it's called.
Yeah.
That is not bro country. Post Malone, I find a lot more enjoyable in the country sphere because the instrumentals are like well done, they're polished, they're catchy, they're enjoyable to listen to. Post Malone is a competent vocalist. A lot of the features that he brings on are competent vocalists as well. Yes, the lyrics about like my woman done me wrong and I don't like relationships. Yeah, that's kind of a bit like run of the mill, but it's well done. Like Post Malone's version of country that he does is enjoyable for me to listen to personally. This version of country that Alan Jackson does on this song, I do not find any worthwhile.
Right, okay. So the thing is, I would say you generally don't like most country.
Probably not.
Like
no.
Okay.
Probably not. But there are bits of it that I do enjoy. But I'm just saying this is definitely not one of those things.
Okay, and that's okay because your opinion is factually untrue. I know I said 10 minutes ago that it wasn't objective, but you are wrong.
Right. What do you get from this other than it just being like back to basics? Like what actually as a song
I think it's just a good vibe. So the story of how I heard this, which is the weirdest thing, because it was when I was in Ireland. Like I was trying to find Irish music and I found country music because a few of the bartenders, like it was like at one particular pub and like the barkeeps were all like singing it. They were like, because it had just been on the radio and they were like, hey, told us, but I think it's just a chill vibe. Like it's a good time. The song is what it is. It is a good time, and I listen to it and I am having a good time.
I know this is kind of like this is like a real fucking like not at all schooled reference, right? The bandstand scene in Back to the Future 3 where they play the like lively dancing music.
Oh, yeah.
That I would think, okay, that's like a fun vibe.
Well, no, I wouldn't say like that. It's like a fun, like it's that kind. Like I get what that's kind of more like I know what kind of thing you mean. That's kind of like line dancing music. It's like line dancing country, and that's like a different thing. But I think this is like just a chill, like it's just like a good, like a nice song to listen to.
I mean, that's fair. I just really get nothing from it personally.
Like this, well, it's just kind of the beauty of opinions because it's like, well, you don't think it's enough, and like I think it's enough. Like when we have talked about Powerwolf, like when that is too big, you're like, oh, it's too big, and I'm like, oh, I love that it's too big. I love that it's like got a lot of like really complex like orchestral. You thinking those two things and me thinking those two things isn't like a contradiction.
No.
And that doesn't mean our opinions are wrong.
Like all I can really hope, right, is that I justify my opinions well enough to the point where people can look at this and go, okay, he's actually not just making like dog shit arguments. That's the only thing.
Well, the thing is, as long as you like explain your opinion, this is the thing. Like, I think some of your thing has kind of been like, oh, it's just bad. But like, if that's just genuinely what you feel about it, like a lot of like buzzwords, like this is a bit of a harsh thing to say, but like it's plain. Like I think you have used like a few buzzwords without like examples that because I don't agree with you, I don't understand. But I think if that's genuinely like how you think about it, then there's nothing wrong with using that.
There is country I do like. This is just not that.
Oh, I was gonna listen to that Florida Georgia line.
Yes, this I just find like the most saccharine. I just find stuff like that to be complete drivel. Like it just makes me vomit in my mouth a little bit.
Like what? Like that is an interesting thing. Like what is like? Is it like the lyrical content or like?
Like it's just because it feels so like vapid, I guess. It's just like, oh, you know, I'm in my truck, I got something on the dash, we don't gotta go nowhere fast, you know, we're all
Well,
like
like
blah, blah,
the
blah, blah,
lyrical
blah.
content is quite generic. Like,
And then the vocals I also find annoying. If you got a twang to your accent, that's fine. But I feel like part of the thing of country is like it's not like they're exaggerating it like on purpose, but like I think part of the country kind of style is to make that a very prominent thing. And I just find that to be not my favorite thing. I do want to like country music more than I do, I think. Like it's almost like I know there's good stuff there and I just can't find it. I think
well,
I need
where
to.
this could help.
Yes, exactly. Yes, good.
And I'll give you one that I know intentionally will make you annoyed now.
Work all week long, punching that clock dust till dawn, counting the days till Friday night. That's when all the conditions are right for a good time.
So my next one was Where the Wild Are, which is not grammatically correct.
I know, that annoys me as well. I will just put that out there.
All right, well, it doesn't annoy me, but no, it's funny that you've said that now. This note kind of just sums it all up. So I put feels like a normal song, very rare for an Evan playlist.
What do you mean by normal?
Because most of your songs are weird.
Normal and or weird how?
Strange.
Come on,
Like
man.
it's just not like it's a normal song. I can't explain it.
Try to explain what you mean by normal.
Because most of your songs are like, you know, gorillas, like
What do you mean?
it just feels like it. Like I can't like a moth to a flame, I can't explain it. It's just that's just like the sound, like I really liked it. Like this is a really like the song in general has like a really nice sound to it, but it feels like not like a lot of the stuff you've given me.
Yeah, it's definitely very different from the stuff that I would normally. It's not always about like me trying to put across like the weirdest and wackiest and wonderful kind of parts of my music. There are just some where I'm like, I know that this is a bop kind of universally, and this is probably one of them. So
and that's the thing, because I feel like that could make it come across like I only want you to give me like normie songs that aren't like, you know, super weird, because I know you well like Billy No Mates, like that's just completely fucking weird to me. Like I just don't understand. Like I'm not saying that I don't think you should give me songs that are like really like out of the ordinary, because I know you do listen to a lot of things that like even that you like admit, would you say that are weird?
But that's because I find them interesting and they stimulate my brain waves.
And that would be more like I want more stuff like that, because then, you know, it would be cool, and you know I could, you know, like even if I don't like it, like I've listened to something interesting at least. But yeah, as I was gonna say, what's she called? Billy No Mates.
She has just done songs that are like acoustic guitar and piano ballads. You know that, right?
Yeah, I
Those
do not care. What's that one where the man's like, "I'll clean up on aisle 6." He's like, "I woke up and I smoke a cigarette." Like that's basic. That's what that is.
What is it about that kind of mundane lyricism? Is it that you just don't think it's funny and so you think it's just dumb and pointless?
Well, because most of them, I don't think they're trying to be funny. Like, because that's like the streets, like that whole kind of. This is a very swathing, like big, sweet criticism. But like, I feel a lot of them aren't trying to be funny. But I don't really look at them as being funny. But I like kind of like what you were saying about like Alan Jackson being boring. Like, I think that is not interesting. And the lyrics are trying to be like, oh, this is so fucking deep. But they're just talking about waking up and smoking a cigarette. But actually, wait, so getting back to Where the Wild Are, so yeah, I don't like the thing is I also don't think like this wasn't like it was good, but it wasn't like incredible. Like I don't think this song is super memorable. Like it's not like extraordinarily good. But I would probably consider putting this on my playlist. Like this is something that I think I would probably listen to in my own time.
My next one, Donovan's Pub in Ballinsloe, the Irish Rovers' second outing this week. This time, I have to say, this is definitely not weekly. The sound of this track definitely has its charm again, like a lot of, like basically every Irish Rovers song that I've listened to has tons and tons of charm. Like the way that they use the accordions and the fiddles and the flutes is really lovely. I think it sounds very nice on this. It also has more of a whimsical edge on this one, which I think works with the more kind of narrative storytelling style of the track, which again, kind of it's like that same endearing quality, but in a different way this time, which is done really well. And I think the more measured kind of like storybook teller kind of vocal delivery is nice and works well. And some of the character portrayals, like the nuns and stuff, are also done in a very funny way, I think. Like how the character portrayals are written about.
Oh, with nuns, are you talking about the women who like put like gin into their tea?
Yeah.
I don't think they're nuns. I think they're just normal people.
Are they not nuns? I thought it said something about
I don't
nuns.
think so.
I think it's because they're referred to as sisters.
Yeah, oh yeah, the sisters. I just assumed they were like it was the sisters. Like I had never even thought about that. Like I didn't take that at all. But I would just assume like the sisters like they were sisters.
Yeah, I guess
that's kind of like what they like. They are the sisters.
Yeah,
like,
I guess it's
because it's depicting like a small community.
But yeah, regardless, I think the character portrayals, the vocals are done very, very well. One thing that like makes this track pale in comparison to like the Jolly Roving Tar for me is that obviously it's a different vibe, right? Because it's more kind of narrative and journey like almost. It's a bit slower. It's got a bit of kind of like a more leisurely pace about it. It's kind of less immediately uppity and catchy. But I guess because what I get out of the Irish Rovers music is that kind of uppityness and that catchiness. It's obviously got those other areas of appeal, like I say, in it being a kind of more narrative style track, which I enjoy. But it's just that some of the other kind of common touchstones of like this is why I like them aren't here. So it's probably why I like this one a bit less than some of the other ones I've heard, but it's still definitely got positives going for it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I do like genuinely kind of agree because when like first of all like just to praise the Irish Rovers in general because this is from No End in Sight, isn't it? This it's their most recent album. Even just that one album has so much variety in like the sound that they do, and I think that's kind of the good thing about like Irish music in general.
Yeah.
Because although there is like a dominant sound, there is so much variety. But like I do kind of agree with your point because I think while that difference from their normal style is what initially attracted me to this song, I think the reason it hasn't stuck around, like that's not one that I regularly like listen to a lot of, is because of like that difference.
I think it's because the pace is slower, but I think it feels like it goes on just a little bit longer than it probably needs to as well. Like they probably could have cut one verse out and it would have served the same purpose. But like I say, it's got its positives. It's just kind of coming at it from a different place, which is maybe why I don't like it as much.
Pushing and they're shouting and they're cursing and they're fighting. I've seen it all myself. They put on a hell of a show. There's little doubt the devil. I think it quite.
So I would say from listening from this point, I would say that this is probably. And I'm making this statement without literally like being able to recall like any other playlist like significant. Like I can remember specific songs, but like not overall in general. But I'm gonna say I think this next run of 4 songs is probably the most solid selection in this whole series. Pretty much all of these songs like I really, really quite enjoyed.
Yes.
So this next one is Promises. Yeah, really cool song. I am definitely interested to hear more from this artist. Yeah, I liked her. I thought her vocals were really cool. It kind of gave me, I don't know if just like you get this at all, but like it kind of gave me like classic, like maybe like 2013, 14, like Katy Perry.
Yes. Yeah.
And I thought that was really sweet. I thought that was really cool. Like the opening to this song was like a complete banger. Like that really got me hyped for it. Like the kind of like techno-y part. And I thought like the backing track like really complimented her vocals for all of it. So yeah, I'm gonna playlist this. Like this was just a really neat song. Awesome. My only criticism is like it was maybe like a little bit too long. Like it didn't wear out its welcome, but I think it like almost kind of did. So I don't know if that's just like there was no like really significant like develops in it, or it was just like maybe like I don't know what made me start to think that, but like that's a very minor problem.
Your next one is Forgive Me Friend by Smith and Thell featuring Swedish Jam Factory. It reminds me a lot of Mumford & Sons, which obviously I'm not a huge fan of. But, listen, this is better than that. Don't mind this at all, really.
That's the thing, like, while we're on the topic of Mumford & Sons, I've really been trying to find, like, more songs of theirs where they don't all sound like they want to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Like, where they're not, like, really cripplingly depressed. And there's not a lot. Like, there's a few that I know of that are, like, really upbeat, but most of them are kind of, like, slow and, like, I'm just kind of, like, coming to learn that is just generally what their sound is.
Folk pop is not my thing, right? And so this is... It's like with Irish Rovers, kind of. Like, would I go and search this out on my own time? No. But I do think that this is probably the best example of the style maybe that I've heard so far. In that, obviously, a lot of the stuff that is kind of part and parcel with this sound is here. So, like, the kind of bright strummed guitars, the, like, pumping and the drums with the dramatic flourishes, the bits of pianos, to kind of add some sense of drama. Like, that's all fairly, like, standard by the book, like, folk pop stuff, and that is all here, and it does the job fairly well. I quite like the sound of the guitars on this one, actually. They do have quite a nice bright sheen to them, which I like. You know, and so, but I think it does it a lot better because it actually sounds like it has some life behind it, because I think that's mainly down to the vocals, which, like, the vocalists do such a good job together, I think. Because I think Victor is a bit more understated. He has kind of a more breathy, slightly earnest delivery that suits him quite well, particularly in the verses. But then Maria, I think, is the real standout vocally speaking, because she has this kind of distinctive, catchy, dramatic, but also kind of airy, floaty quality to the way that she sings, which I really quite like. I think it's a good... Her and Victor work well as a good counterpoint to each other in the verses, but then when that chorus hits, they're both kind of firing on all cylinders and kind of put a bit more oomph into it, and that I think really works. I think the chorus on this is very strong, and the vocal performances are undoubtedly the strongest part. Like the way that they sing it and the melodies on it really stand out, and the way that they work together is really nice. The vocals take it from what would be quite a standard, like fairly by the numbers piece of folk pop, and make it something that, at least to a few degrees, is fairly noteworthy. And I do agree with that, although the intention and the kind of meaning behind the notes when I wrote them, I still think the same thing, but I think the song is better. I wrote that note saying that it turns a fairly by the numbers piece of folk pop into something noteworthy. I wrote that from the standpoint of it turning something that could be a 5 into like a 6.5, whereas now I think it's like turning a 6.5 into like close to an 8.
Well, there's another because I think the lyrics, like the vocals, mainly come from Smith and Tell. I think Swedish Jam Sandwich is like more the beats. So there is one that is like a bit less like the folky sound that I'll probably put in for you next time, because I think that other song is the better one.
Yeah,
that's the one I like listening to more.
I will say that the lyrics aren't something massively to like write home about particularly, but they're not bad. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, you know, sort of slightly fractured relationship trying to make things work. You know, that's fairly standard fare, but like, it's not something that I'm like, yeah, that's bad. It's just like, they're there, but there's a lot more noteworthy things to talk about, such as the vocals.
I think the whole thing about like lyrics in the future, that would be an interesting debate. This episode's probably going to be long enough as it is, but I think like talking about like what makes, this is why I've always said you should do an Evan Wittenauer podcast like about music. Is talking about this kind of stuff, like what makes lyrics, like why are lyrics so important and what makes good lyrics. I think that could be a really good conversation. I think a lot of like differences of our opinion, as well as just like sounds, like come to what we think, or what we both think of as substantial lyrics.
Yeah, on the whole, I like this. It was enjoyable. It's definitely the most enjoyable piece of, or one of the most enjoyable pieces of folk pop I think I've heard in quite a while.
So my next one is Golden Scans. There's like a lot of the same things as the last one. Like I just really enjoyed this one, and I want to hear more from the Klaxons. Yeah, I'd be interested to hearing more from these guys because I really enjoyed this. It was a really, really funky song, good vocals, good lyrics, good overall sound. I thought it was the perfect length. It didn't feel like it cut off too shortly. It didn't feel like it was overstaying its welcome, like it was too long. Yeah, just all round. Yeah, really good, good song.
That is something that I found is very rare, right? Because often I'll give you a song that I think you'll like, and sometimes you do like it, but the reasons that you end up liking it are different to the reasons that I thought you would end up liking it. Whereas this is one that I think is quite rare, where I give it to you thinking that you like it, and the reasons that you like it are the exact reasons why I gave it to you in the first place, and it's actually paid off fully in the way that I expected. I think it's quite interesting that is quite a rare thing, but
again, this is like a long discussion, but I think we see music, like the way that we perceive music is fundamentally different. I think it's because I'm very much a music normie. Like the thing is with music is that all humans like music. So it's kind of hard to say like, oh, I'm like a normie on it. But you are definitely more of like a music person than I am. So I think like that kind of influences like where our taste is.
I never intended to be kind of like, sort of beret wearing fart sniffer kind of type thing. But
well, the thing is that even if it is pretentious, if like you enjoy like some particular things, it's because of reasons that you could say are pretentious. Like the thing is at least that's like genuine.
My penultimate one, Something Happened on the Way to Heaven, Phil Collins. Another very, very good one. I'd say I probably even like this a bit more than Invisible Touch. The dramatic sound of this, it almost makes it sound a bit like a Rocky montage almost, but in like a really good way. Like the production on it is fantastic. Like the pianos are really dramatic, the guitars are clean, the brass and the trumpets are all super bright and triumphant. It's great, the drums are punchy, they've got a really nice danceable groove to them. Maybe I find the snare like a little bit tinny sounding. I don't quite know how to describe it, but like that is literally like the most minor of minor complaints, because the whole thing is like groomed to absolute perfection from a sound standpoint in my ears. And I think the touches of things like keyboards are very well implemented as well. It's like I said here, like a very well groomed, catchy, dancey piece of pop rock. It's a brilliant chorus again, not to mention with a fantastic guitar solo on it, I think. I often think guitar solos are a bit overplayed and overdone and cringe, but this is an example of a guitar solo where I'm like, this fucking rocks. I love this a lot. I do not think there is a track I've heard yet where Phil Collins has not been absolutely fucking awesome. Like, the melodies are dramatic, they're emotive, they're really catchy, the backing vocals are utilized really well. And again, this goes back to the argument, maybe like the lyrics about trying to repair a seemingly perfect yet broken relationship, they're not like, I'm not absolutely like mind blown by them, but for what the song is, Phil is a singer that understands the assignment, right, is what I've realized. Like you put an instrumental and a lyrical concept in front of him and he will just do it to the absolute best of his conceivable ability, and this is an absolute brilliant example of that. Like the music and the vocals are fantastic, and he takes a lyrical concept that might not be the most interesting thing in the world, but he carries it off with so much like flair and panache and skill and talent that I honestly just don't really give a fuck by the end of it, that it's not really that interesting.
Pretty much agree. I think the song is really good. It's part of the proof of why I like solo Phil Collins more than I do Genesis. Like I do like Genesis, but solo Phil Collins like just goes fucking Wumbo mode. So the penultimate one you gave to me was On My Own, and this one was quite cool. I can't lie. The opening bit, and then kind of like I was surprised because I thought it was just going to be in the opening, but it extended to the whole song. Pretty much was like a kind of like retro, like arcadey track. Like that was awesome. Loved that. So that was really cool to see. And yeah, it made the song sound hype. The vocals were really nice as well, so that was cool. And the lyrics they weren't really noteworthy, like, but I don't really care because it was a good song and it sounded really cool. Definitely like a danceable song. Like I was sat right here listening to it even, and I was like, oh yeah, and I was gonna say it because this was the kind of thing that I've been talking about, but the little change in the middle where like the backing track, like the vocals, like the actual effect on them was like kind of toned down, so it was more clear, and the track kind of like got quieter. Like that's the kind of thing that's what I'm looking for.
I will say that USA album, I was probably tossing up between like 5 different ones on that album. So I was really like, oh, there's like a few other ones. Yeah, I really had to like rack my brain being like, are these better? But I went with this one in the end.
Yeah, that would be cool to hear some more from that album. But like since I've added that to my playlist, I could probably end up doing that in my own time. So do you think that it's probably more Anna Managuchi that's like the better part?
The kind of music that Anna Managuchi does, you wouldn't obviously want like a hardcore death metal vocalist on it. So someone like Hannah with the kind of singing style that she does, I think is a really good fit.
It sounds like she could sing anime intros.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They did a song using the like Hatsune Miku engine.
We should do an episode about Vocaloids.
That would be an episode. It would probably be quite a fiery one, but yeah, I like right. Some Vocaloid music is pretty good. I got to give a shout out to Jamie Page, Constant Companions album. That was pretty good. My final one. You're Not Me, Marty Baggs from the track. We're ending on a high here because I like it. It is also probably the best kind of emo adjacent song that I've heard on this show so far.
The thing is, it is a funny song to think like it was made for the Yu-Gi-Oh movie. So it plays when the main villain, but like one of the main, like the bad guy of like the first season of the show, but he's like flying in a jet that looks like the Blue Eyes White Dragon. But obviously, like that's comedic as fuck.
Yeah,
and it's played like all this music, like Kaiba's so badass and edgy. Like it was like the funny thing is that the song was clearly made to appeal to like all the cool teens of like 2004, which is funny, but it's also good. That's the thing.
The opening guitar leads were very, very catchy. And I thought that the more distorted riffs that kind of come in behind it, like the main kind of power riffs behind it, had like a really nice heft to them, which is really good. And I think that a lot of the psychedelic effects that go throughout the track, they work well without being kind of like tacky or overused. Like there's a lot of like guitar flange and like weird wiggly woogly whirry sound effects going on. And like if that's overdone, it can sound like really shitty and bad and terrible. But this does not sound like that. I think they used fairly tactfully, which is good. I mean, there is a spot in the bridge where there's like a guitar solo where they just like turn the flange meter up to 12 for like no reason whatsoever. And it sounds a bit squiffy. But like aside from that, like the use of effects is very, very kind of well done. And I think the bass and the drums throughout the track are also really tight and punchy. They help to give it this kind of like fast, like energetic momentum to it, which is really nice. It has like a genuinely like quite blood pumping vibe, particularly in the chorus. You know, just like musically, I think it's just very solid. Slightly dark in tone, but they do that quite well, like I say.
Because that was at the point where Seto Kaiba is kind of becoming more of a hero. So I think it's more definitely like an anti-hero song. From the perspective of the movie, like it is kind of genuinely like a rather decent song, like about Seto Kaiba. Because he like the thing is that he is like really rich, but no one likes him because he's an asshole.
And I'd say as far as vocals go, he does have that kind of like slightly nasal, kind of like typically emo type delivery that's kind of quite dramatic and like just a little bit overacted. And so normally I would find this kind of shit really obnoxious, like when My Chemical Romance do it, and it just sounds like fucking shit. Like what is it? Desolation Row. that you gave me from the Watchmen soundtrack.
Oh my god.
And all of that is just like their whole voice just sounds like yeah.
I get what you mean, but I don't think he goes like anywhere near that.
No, he doesn't. I agree. He doesn't.
Yeah, he
The
doesn't.
point I'm trying to make really is that exactly like you say, he just about manages to do all of the things that like a regular emo song would do, but not overstep it to a point where it's cringe. But he just about manages to like really quite skillfully actually kind of tap dance on that line. I said it's by far the least obnoxious vocals I can remember hearing on a track of this kind, which is a huge plus, obviously, and it's a lot more palatable. I mean, yeah, like the lyrics about like you don't understand me are like pretty cringe, but like I guess that the fact that that's like it's like an anti-hero theme, that would make sense. And it's probably one of like the only minor critique I would have aside from like some of the effects maybe going a bit overboard at points. And like I ended off just by saying that normally I would really strongly dislike a song like this, but the way that he's done it or the people behind it have done it, they do it in a way where it's very palatable and actually quite enjoyable.
My last song from you is Peppers and Onions.
You're a whack. Yes.
I wanted to go into this song and dislike it because it would have been really funny. But so apart from like some of the lyrics, like this isn't the best like lyrical rap song I've ever heard. Like this ain't no Young Gravy. This ain't no Death to Mumble Rap. This ain't good like that. Other than like the lyrics, which aren't anything special, the beat was really good. The vocals were really nice. The actual like rapping like sounded really good. I actually wrote down and said lyrics were pretty good too, so I guess I lied. Okay, so the lyrics were actually good. It was the vocals I got them mixed up. So it was for most of the song, like the vocals are okay. But I liked when it's a bit faster at the start. But yeah, I didn't quite like on this song, and it's now on my rap playlist.
Awesome, that's great.
Tierra Whack saved herself.
You got to be the one that people looking up to. Yeah, I tried to reach the sun, but got me stuck to my shoes. Yeah, you got to be the one that people looking.
With all that being said, it is now time to dole out the rankings. What we do, we go through each of the songs in the playlist and we put them together, give them a score out of 10. You can go to as many decimal places as you like, but then I go and put it on a big league table and then leave that to sleep in its cave until we get to episode 20.
Okay, so that's so good. That's really good that you let me go first, because I actually forgot we did this. And I forgot to put numbers, so I will be doing them off the top of my head. So, amen, brother. I don't know, like 5, Pogo, 4.6789. Move on up. Let's give that like a 6.5. The Isle, 4, 5. Where the Wild are, like a 6. Promises, like a 7. Peppers and Onions, probably an 8 on my own. Give that an 8. Golden Scans, we got a 7. So that's 57.1789 out of a possible 90.
6.3. I'll take that. I think that is one of my stronger ones, speaking in terms of numbers.
Yeah, well, it definitely has been one of the stronger ones.
As for you, like an 8 would be a song that I would willingly go out of my way to listen to in my own free time because I liked it a lot. So if every single song can land at that level, you've got an 8 or above, probably more than that. There were a lot of very, very good ones on here. Like Invisible Touch was good, Jolly Roman Tar was good, Praise was good, Donovan's Pub I thought was good, just maybe slightly less good than Jolly Roman Tar was, but still good. I enjoyed Forgive Me Friend, I enjoyed Phil Collins, and I enjoyed the Yu-Gi-Oh song. Screw the Nether was fine. Good Time was just not my thing. This is really strong. I'm going to go 7.1 for this. There are some that, like I say, I liked, but I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to in my own time. But a lot of these, I'm like, you know what? I would quite happily listen to these again. I can say with some level of certainty, you won't have to wait a year and a half for the next episode, because we are going to try start cracking on with doing content a bit more on weekends and stuff, so we can get more content out, even if we are busy between the two of us, which we are. We're not lazy, I promise. Both this and other things that will be coming your way through various channels, hopefully relatively soon. MasterSpud, of course, always a pleasure to have you on. Please go subscribe to him. If you're looking for a good laugh, but also some very, very well researched and argumented reviews and just like funny content in general, please go subscribe
if you want to
him.
see this dumbass talk about horrible histories.
Hopefully we'll be doing this more often. I certainly hope so, because I think after this episode I am raring to go for the next one. Thank you all very much, if you have, for sitting through this. We're going to go back into the cryogenic freezing chamber and see you in 6 years for episode 15.